Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Building for the Future. I am delighted to see that so many of you have joined up for today. We have over 500 people with us today, which is absolutely fantastic. The weather is amazing as well. In West London, which is where I'm sitting in my study, it's really beautifully sunny outside, but please do stay with us because we have an action-packed program. We have a fantastic in conversation with Chichi Nawinoku and a lineup of all kinds of people and experts who are going to be sharing their thoughts across a number of really pressing areas, everything from how you teach, digital, Brexit and what that means for musicians, everything that you could possibly want to think about in terms of contractual matters and teaching. So a really action-packed day, and in between the different sessions, we will be showcasing plenty of music. And that's just wonderful because I think we all know that music and musicians have really lost out over the past year. It has been incredibly difficult for ISM members, but for everybody working in the music profession. So hopefully today, we're going to be focusing not just on the challenges now, but looking to the future to hopefully give you some of the skills to help you as we move forward. Because things are beginning to open up. I was just talking to Professor Chris Collins, who is our president, who will be sharing his thoughts over the past year in a few minutes' time. And Scotland, of course, is just poised to start easing lockdown. Whereas in England, I think we have been slightly more open over the past week or so. So things are just beginning to get back to normal. And I think from May onwards, 17th of May onwards, things begin to look even more open for musicians. Everybody who's engaged in the professional world to the amateur world is, of course, looking forward to getting back to be able to play and perform. Not just in the open air, but hopefully eventually in venues as well. So lots to be looking forward to. In terms of the nature of the event, we are delighted, as I said, that so many of you have signed up, over 500. It's going to be hopefully truly interactive. Now, to make it interactive, could I urge you to do plenty of usage of Slido, which is our question and answer platform, which allows you to ask the speakers questions during the event, because we want you to feel really involved with what's going on, wherever you may be. And of course, we have social media presence. So please do use the hashtag ISM Future. And also we have plenty of Twitter action as well, at ISM_music on Twitter and Instagram and across Facebook as well. So please do use all the various social media functions and share with your friends and colleagues. If you are an ISM member, and I think there's probably close on 300 ISM members out there, which is fantastic to see, please do come and join us at the open forum at 12:45. Where you can ask myself and my colleagues questions over the past year. I'm going to be talking about all the various key activities that the ISM has been involved with over the past 12 months or so. And unfortunately, we weren't able to hold the AGM just at this moment for various reasons to do with government regulations, but we do hope to be holding an AGM later in the year. But there will be a full open forum at 12:45 to 1:30 where you can ask us questions. So to do that, you need to follow the ISM members open forum Zoom link, which is at the bottom left-hand corner of the event page you are currently watching from. So please do make sure that you've got that securely in your to-do list, and I will see you there at 12:45. If you are not a member, then stay online and find the main channel at 12:45 to watch our Find Out More About the ISM session with the membership and marketing officer, my fantastic colleague, Sam Flowers. So you don't need to go anywhere. You just stay on the main Zoom link. And if you have any technical problems whatsoever, then email events@ism.org. We have a brilliant team working with us from the Duet group, and I'm sure they will be able to sort out whatever problems you may have in relation to technology. So I am now going to hand over to Professor Chris Collins for his thoughts over the past year. Many thanks.
Thank you very much, Deborah, and welcome to you all, wherever you are, to today's conference. As Deborah says, and it goes without saying, we're living through incredibly challenging times for the profession, probably the most challenging since the ISM was founded 139 years ago. But our profession has existed for thousands of years. It will continue for thousands more. And the current circumstances are a blip. Things are opening up. Every day we're one day closer to returning to our studios, our offices, concert halls, live audiences. And so that's why we're focusing today on what we can do to make our bounce back as quick as possible, as secure as possible, and also as innovative as possible. So to know where we're going, we need to know where we've been, of course. And I'd like to, before we get going, say just a few words about the past 12 months, dominated as they have been by two themes. The theme is probably it's far too weak a word to describe them. They're more Wagnerian leitmotifs, and that is Brexit and COVID-19, of course. So ever since the results of the EU referendum were announced, well, back in 2016, wasn't it? We've known that leaving the European Union would make a huge difference to our work as musicians. We knew there'd be new obstacles. We hoped there'd be new opportunities too. And while the opportunities are yet to manifest themselves, the obstacles have really arrived. They kicked in overnight on the 1st of January, and they've been much bigger than we anticipated. Now, I naively expected that the UK government would want to give its full support to us, to one of the nation's most lucrative industries and one of our most prestigious exports. But that expectation was dashed. And now we talk about visas and carnets and cabotage, things that we never really thought about at all before. They're now concerns for us all. So I didn't foresee that, but thankfully, the ISM team was very well prepared for that eventuality, and we were able to immediately position ourselves as the first port of call for all musicians seeking information, advice, and practical support for their activity in Europe. And that work continues and will continue, I'm sure, for some time to come. What none of us could have foreseen was a pandemic that would close concert halls, opera houses, and places of worship for over a year, that would lead to a ban on face-to-face private tuition, and that would lead to redundancies and cancelled bookings for hundreds and thousands of musicians. Now, once again, the ISM grasped the bull by its horns here. We established ourselves as a kind of COVID-19 information exchange. And we did that for the entire profession, providing that information freely to everyone. Now, that has been a Herculean task, passing the ever-changing advice and regulations from 4 national administrations, frequently engaging directly with 4 governments to seek clarifications. For our members, we've continued to provide bespoke legal and wellbeing support, and we've done that at an unprecedented rate. And we've also released financial support for those members hardest hit by the pandemic. COVID-19 has been devastating in so many ways, of course, but both to us as a community and to individuals. But there is that adage that out of adversity comes strength. And we have all learned so much over the past year. We've turned digital, and so the distance between us all has shrunk. We've reached new audiences, we've discovered new ways of teaching, we've encountered new repertoires. And when the masks come off, and social distancing becomes a distant memory, we will take all of that learning with us. We'll have the best of both worlds. Now, the ISM itself has embraced the potential of the digital world in a way I couldn't have imagined a year ago, and that potential is nowhere more visible than an event like this one today. As Deborah said a few moments ago, you are one of over 500 people attending this conference, and you may not be able to see or hear the others, but that makes you no less a member of that community. When I was appointed president-elect back in 2019, I had a very clear sense of what I wanted to prioritize during my presidential year. And obviously it wasn't fighting a global pandemic or fighting a poorly thought through withdrawal agreement. What I wanted to prioritize was our important work in making the sector as inclusive as possible, opening music up to more and more young people through education and opportunities, enhancing our role representing the sector as a whole across all styles and genres of music, across all nations, across all music professions, and actively redressing the imbalances that make a musical career so much less feasible for some people than for others. And despite COVID and Brexit, the ISM has been extremely active in this field of inclusion and diversity. For example, we've continued to fight multiple threats to music education. In England, we've lobbied successfully for renewed funding for music hubs, for instance, and for the introduction of the model music curriculum, which appeared very recently. An imperfect document, but much better than nothing. We've diversified our educational resources we provide through the ISM Trust, not least with the award-nominating Indian Takeaway package. And diversity and inclusion was also a major theme of the hugely successful Empowered Musician Conference last December, and it's a major theme of today's conference too. And the announcement that I'm about to make is really the icing on the cake, because for the first time since its introduction, the ISM is this year awarding its Distinguished Musician Award to a Black musician. And the recipient is one of the very finest of our composers. She has a strikingly original and unique voice. Her music is vibrant, it's inventive, and it's relevant, very relevant to our present human condition. So I'm delighted and extremely proud to announce that the ISM's 2020 Distinguished Musician Award will be awarded to Erilyn Wallen. So the past 12 months have been in no way wasted. As a profession, I think we can be very proud of having helped the nation through the trials and tribulations of this pandemic, and we can also be proud of the ways in which we've fought our corner. There are plenty of battles still to fight, of course, but I've never been more confident of the collective power of this world-leading industry that we're all a part of. And that gives us an ideal platform on which to build for the future. We have a stimulating day ahead of us, and we start in just a moment by welcoming Chi-Chi Nwanaku, OBE, double bass player, academic, broadcaster, advocate, and of course, founder of the inspirational Chineke Foundation. And Chi-Chi will be in conversation with the programmer, curator, producer, and the new head of classical music at the South Bank Centre, Tox Dada. So that's coming up in just a moment. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you later.